Hello, my friends and family from Healdsburg Elementary School. Have you ever noticed that sometimes one book or character in the book will lead you to another? I noticed that the last couple of weeks after we read Soñadores, Dreamers, with its beautiful monarch butterfly. I started thinking about monarch butterflies around us and doing some research with a lot of great nonfiction books. We have so many, I can't even begin to hold them all up or list them for you, about butterflies that live around us. And then I found another great book about a little girl and a friendship with a monarch butterfly. It is entitled Velma Gratch and the Way Cool Butterfly. This wonderful book, which is fiction, was written by Alan Madison and illustrated by Kevin Hawkes. Velma Gratch was the youngest of the three Gratch sisters. Frida, the oldest, had gone through first grade first, followed by Fiona. Now it was Velma's turn. The chorus teacher remembered Frida best because she had a voice like an angel. The gym teacher remembered Fiona because she ran so fast. And the first grade teacher, Mr. Plexipus, fondly remembered both sisters because of Frida's miraculous math and Fiona's spectacular spelling. Everyone from the class guinea pig to the principal had magnificent memories of the older Gratch girls, but they could hardly even recall Velma's first name. This made Velma feel as if she did not belong in first grade at all. She wanted to curl into a ball and roll right back to kindergarten. Of course you belong, cooed Velma's mother, trying to cheer her up. You've only just begun. Soon everyone will notice you. In chorus, she sang the loudest so that her teacher could hear her best. In gym, she ran the slowest so the teacher could see her best. And in class, she refused to read and muddled her math. Mr. Plexipus lamented that she was the first Gratch sister ever sent to the principal's office. Littlest Gratch, why are you singing so loudly in chorus and running so slowly in gym? Inquired Principal crossly. Because, answered Velma, I want you to remember me just like you remember Frida and Fiona. The principal's owlish eyes opened wide. But, my dear, those Gratches are remembered for good things. Uh-oh. Science was Velma's favorite subject. She learned many fabulous facts, like how a rainbow is born and why a volcano burps. The latest lesson was about butterflies. Mr. Plexipus explained that a butterfly starts as an egg. The egg turns into a caterpillar. The caterpillar disappears into a chrysalis, which is a little sac, and does not come out until it has changed into a beautiful butterfly. He called this changing metamorphosis. Velma did not want to forget this extra long word, so she repeated it again and again as she walked home. Metamorphosis, metamorphosis, metamorphosis. Frida, when you were in first grade, did you study butterflies? Nah, we learned about worms, Frida replied. Fiona, when you were in first grade, did you study butterflies? Nah, we found out about frogs. Wow, said Velma proudly. We are studying butterflies and metamorphosis. Way cool. Velma read everything in the library about butterflies. She discovered that there are 20,000 different kinds, which is a lot. She adored the ones with colorful names: brown elfin, frosted flasher, sleepy orange, and the ones with funny names: comma, question mark, American snout, not to mention the ones with strange names: Orpho, painted lady, gossamer wing. But her favorite butterfly of all was the orange and black monarch. When it got cold, all the monarchs would fly south to Mexico to stay warm. In science, Mr. Plexipus announced that they would take a class trip to the Butterfly Conservatory, a place where real butterflies were collected and cared for. Because Velma didn't want to forget this extra long word, she repeated it again and again as she walked home. Conservatory, conservatory, conservatory. The Butterfly Conservatory was surrounded by fancy flower beds and bedecked with banners of butterflies. A sharp-nosed woman holding a clipboard introduced herself. "I am your tour guide. Inside, a butterfly might land on you, but please don't touch its wings. Does anyone know why?" Velma's hand shot up. "Because they're made of teeny-tiny scales that can rub off like dust, and that's not good," she explained. "Precisely," says the guide. Inside the conservatory, it was a magical space slathered in tall trees and tangled vines. Water gurgled over rocks, and butterflies of every variety, giant swallowtails, short-tailed skippers, pygmy blues, and best of all, monarchs, flew up into forever. The guide explained that when it got colder in a couple of weeks, she would take the monarchs into the park and let them go free so they could fly to Mexico. This traveling was called migration. Migration, migration, migration. A gorgeous green comma rested on Randy's head. The class oohed. A baby brown elfin settled on Sandy's nose. The class awed. A big blue morpho alighted on Andy's shoulder. The class gasped. But not one single butterfly landed on any part of Velma. "Time to leave," instructed Mr. Plexipus as they neared the exit. A tiny tear formed in the distant corner of Velma's eye. All she wanted was a single tingly touch of a butterfly. On a nearby branch sat a most lovely monarch. How she yearned to pet those velvety wings. She moved slowly. The class was leaving. One more inch. It was so pretty. She froze. If she touched its wings, it might... Velma couldn't do it. She couldn't hurt a butterfly. "Come now, Velma, we have to go." Sadly, Velma turned away, and at that very moment, the most marvelous thing happened. The monarch hopped from its branch and roosted right on Velma's pointer finger. Delicate wings slowly folding, antennas twitching, weightless and wondrous, the insect sat. Velma was in heaven. "The bus is waiting," her teacher called. Velma placed her finger next to the branch. "Bye-bye, butterfly," she whispered, but the monarch didn't move. "We're closing," said the guide. Velma blew on the butterfly. It didn't budge. Without ever touching the butterfly's wings, everyone tried to get the monarch to fly, crawl, or walk off Velma's finger, but nothing worked. At last, Velma was told to leave with the butterfly still perched on her pointer finger. It stayed there on the bus on the ride home. It stayed there when she slept and was still there when she awoke. It stayed during gym, math, reading, ballet, soccer. Day in and day out, it stayed on her pointer finger. Soon, everyone from the class guinea pig to the principal knew about Velma and her butterfly. Mr. Plexipus lamented that Velma was positively the first Gratch ever sent to the principal's office twice. Velma, Principal crossly commanded, it's time for the butterfly to go. Oh, I've tried to get it to go, Velma moaned, but it just won't. Well, no one will ever forget about this, the principal fumed. Hey, I know what to do, Velma proclaimed. Migration! Velma paraded Principal Crossley, Mr. Plexipus, her class, Frida, and Fiona to the park. Cars honked, people yelled, but despite all the commotion, the monarch did not move. A cool wind from the west blew through the field. In the middle stood the tour guide from the conservatory, carefully opening an enormous sack. A single monarch butterfly stepped out, looked around, and flitted away. It was trailed by 10, then 10 more, soaring up and up until the sky overflowed with thick clouds of orange and black. What's happening? Wondered Fiona. Why are they letting them go? Demanded Fiona. Migration, said the guide. Migration, repeated Velma. The wind tousled Velma's hair and tickled her butterfly's wings. The monarch jumped onto her nose as if to give her a kiss, and then took flight to join its friends. Over the treetops it flew, over the skyscrapers and up into the wild blue, orange and black, yonder on its way to Mexico with its friends. Velma! Shouted Principal crossly, and every eye turned toward her. Oh, no, fretted Velma, sure she was about to become the only Gratch ever sent to the principal's office 3 times. That was way cool, the principal said, and one and all bobbled their heads in way cool agreement. Then, with her fine finger where the monarch had sat, still a tingle, Velma followed her 2 sisters and floated home. Fly away, our friend little butterfly.